Hello, everybody. Welcome to Therapy Dog Talk. My name is Sherry. My dog's name is Sunny, and each week we interview different therapy dog teams from around the world. If you are just getting started as a therapy dog team or not even sure if you want to get started, we have a guide for you that you can find at freeguide.therapydogtalk.com. And if you do check it out, I would love to hear your thoughts to see if it's helpful for you as well as to hear what you're up to. So for this week, we have a new guest as per usual, and I'm really excited for you to meet them. So I will go ahead and get them in here. Hi.
Hi.
Hey, Benji.
This
He's
is
like,
Benji.
Mom, what are we doing?
Hi.
So Taylor, for those who don't know you, would you like to introduce us to yourself and to Benji?
Yeah, so I'm Taylor. I live in Charlotte, North Carolina. I am a part of Alliance Therapy Dogs. I've been with them since, I would say, December of 2021. It's been great so far. We've had a lot of activities. We've gone to assisted living homes. We currently, on Mondays, go to different branches of libraries in Charlotte, and children who are not quite comfortable reading their peers, they'll read to Benji because he doesn't judge them. So it's about an hour every Monday, sometimes on Thursdays at a different branch, but we do that. And then we actually just got an email invite to participate in crafts like painting with children with disabilities that we responded to. So we're waiting on the details for that, but that's our next little endeavor.
Awesome. Does Benji get to actually paint?
So I hope so. I actually would think it'd be really funny if he got to dip his paws in the paint and kind of make pictures of his paws. That's my goal. That's what I'm going for. So we'll see.
I love it. I can't wait to see his artwork if that happens.
Yeah.
There's a trend going on around Instagram. I remember like a couple of years ago, I think early pandemic days, where people were putting paint on a canvas inside of a Ziploc bag and then peanut butter on the outside. So dogs were licking it and making artwork.
Yeah, that's cool. The pandemic, peanut butter and saran wrap, I feel like made their headway for sure with activities and dogs. I always saw the trimming the nails part, so that was
Oh
really
yeah,
cool.
with the headband of peanut butter. Yeah, very nice. I saw too, you just had special bookmarks made for Benji for the reading program.
So they came out a little bit larger than a bookmark. Office Depot didn't quite have particular bookmark sizes, so I made extra large little menus. But I sent in a picture, had that hand painted, and I used that same picture since it's kind of cartoon-esque to be on top of the bookmark. A little book logo, and then his email, bookswithbenji@gmail.com, and then his Instagram account, Benji's_therapies. So I'm going to ideally pass those out to children. I like that it's bigger so they don't lose the bookmarks, and it would be cool for the parents to hang it on the fridge or something. But I want to offer private sessions because as I've continued on with the reading with Benji, it's only 15-minute increments that kids are allowed to reserve. And some kids, whether they struggle to read or are just distracted with Benji and want to play with him, touch him, all that stuff, the time goes by really fast. So I feel like the kids aren't allotted the appropriate amount of time to get their book done or ask the questions they want or just hang out with Benji, just kind of feel just like they're, I don't know, having a good time at the library with the dog. So I want to offer private sessions that gives them either 30 minutes or 45 minutes alone with Benji. So we'll see if that, but I'm excited for it. I hope so.
That's great. Would that be for kids that you've already met through the program, so you just kind of can do it like on an invite basis where you know like it's a child that Benji would have a good time working longer sessions with, or something they could just sign up for?
So I would bring the bookmarks with me to the sessions at the library. And then if the children really enjoyed Benji or they seemed to really enjoy the time, but maybe didn't get enough time, or if they got enough time, they just seemed like they really liked it, I would give them the bookmarks or talk to the parents that they were there. The parents are there with them. So I would talk to them and kind of plan it out. And they can email me kind of times that would work better for them. That way I can set up a schedule to see who would want to do it and what times are available. But some kids, they do come, they read, they're really shy. I don't know if they don't like dogs or they're just a little bit timid of Benji's size, but some just kind of sit there and read, kind of get their book done and then leave. And then others are laying on the floor playing with him, asking me every question under the sun. So it's a little bit different. It just kind of depends on the children themselves.
Gotcha. So the bookmarks are basically the invite, and then it's up to them to kind of follow
Yeah.
up that. Gotcha.
Just kind of keep us fresh in their mind. So if they hang it on the fridge, they get to remember what Benji looks like. And if the parents think that the kids would benefit from it a little bit better doing it individually, then they have that there to reach out to me versus contacting the library, then them contacting me and exchanging information. They just have it right there at hand.
Yeah, plus it's a great little connection object since it has like a picture of him. They could even put it in their room at home and read to the bookmark.
And it's top of it, so I figured to do it that way. So when you have the bookmark in the book, Benji's face is like sticking right up above it. But yeah, it's really cool.
I see Benji's fan club is in the comments. Jessica says Benji's the best. Bree says they miss their baby Benji. And Michaela says Benji the best boy ever.
Bree is a Benji OG. He came in one day to the animal hospital. He was lost and the girl couldn't keep him. She was really allergic. So I volunteered to take him in and he became part of the hospital's family. And he's offered therapy to just about everybody there, including other dogs as well.
I love that. That's such a pretty story. And you were mentioning some of the children can be a little intimidated by his size because he's a Great Pyrenees mixed with, I forget.
So he's 86% Great Pyrenees, and then he's got 2% Bulgarian Shepherd, which is very similar to a Pyrenees, and then Shepherd in him. It starts with an M. My brain wants to say Merriman Shepherd. I don't think that's how it's pronounced, but basically looks just like a Pyrenees. And then oddly enough, he has a little bit percentage of a Komondor dog, which I don't know if you know or anyone else knows, but that's a dog like the dreadlock dog or the mop dog. So
okay.
Long dreads or they look like a head of a mop. So I thought that was really interesting that he had that in him, but his face really looks like a Pyrenees to me and his size. I'm grateful he's not full blood just because of all the hair. I have my share of little tumbleweeds around my house, but yeah, he's good.
How big is he then?
Last I weighed, he was 105. So he could stand like a pound or two, but I do pretty good at keeping him lean just to savor those back hips for sure.
How do you help those kids then who are a little intimidated by his size?
So I typically have him sit or lay down. And then when he's down, he's at a really good level for them. And then I'll kind of like rub his face, touch his ears, even touch his feet just to get to see that he's not scary. He's not going to do anything. And then sometimes if they're really scared, I'll just like stick his tail out and I'll have them touch his tail just to get the little contact and not have to actually touch him. But a lot of the kids at the end of it, they're literally laying on the floor with him. I have a ton of photos of kids just like running around in the room or laying down. It's really cute. I'm like, we're supposed to be reading, but this is really fun to me.
I love that. Michaela says they're so happy and proud of Benji and they always knew he would be the best therapy dog.
Kayla, I used to work with Michaela too. Yeah.
I love it. Bubbles had a question. She wanted to know if the library contacted you or if you asked them to start the reading program.
So one of the great things with Alliance of Therapy Dogs, I don't know how other companies work, but Alliance is amazing. So if there's someone who is in need of a therapy dog, they will contact Alliance and then Alliance will send a mass email to everyone telling them like, hey, if you guys can help out, let them know, reach out to them. Scroll down, you'll see the original message. So this one was a girl, Madeline. She worked at the Brea Road branch of the libraries in Charlotte. And she was like, hey guys, we're starting. So the company, or not the company, the program is called Pause to Read, PAWS. I call it My Own Books with Benji. I think it just has a little bit nicer of a ring to it. But they reached out to me. I reached out to them. And then Madeline and I got each other's email and contacted her. She asked a little bit about Benji. We set up a time for me to go in with Benji for just an evaluation. You can't just go in and expect just because he's a therapy dog, they're immediately going to accept you. So they wanted to make sure he was going to be okay and was a good fit for the program. So we went in, I did some paperwork. They wanted a copy of his certificate, a copy of his vet records, making sure all the scenes are up to date. And then they had a couple kids at the library already who had already agreed to be kind of like the test subjects for Benji to be around, but I wasn't at all concerned. I knew he was going to do great. So we got to do that. And then I got on the schedules. But for another example, they actually reached out to me about Amazon. Amazon warehouses around Charlotte were requesting therapy dogs. And then a girl, she was doing a therapy dog project with her classmates. And so that was, I believe, at like Lake Norman High School. She reached out asking. I just couldn't, I had to work that day, so it was just a little conflicting schedules. But I really wanted to go to the Levine Center, the Children's Hospital, but they weren't doing their therapy dog visits because of COVID and a couple other reasons, so we just didn't make it there yet. But the Pause to Read has been a lot of fun. And then I just contacted the assisting living homes. I called them, asked to speak to their activities director, and would say, hey, my name is Taylor. My dog's name is Benji. We're a part of Alliance Therapy Dogs, and we want to come visit. Do you have any residents who would be comfortable with that? And they would set me up for a visit. I would go. If you're going to do that route, I would recommend going with the activities director of the assisted living home, just because the residents don't know you or your dog, but they'll see a familiar face with the activities director, and so they'll feel more comfortable. Especially like you have to knock on their door and say like, hi, we have a dog, do you want to say hi? So I felt like it was better for her to knock and just, explain who we were and all that.
Yeah, I think that's a good piece of advice. Probably varies based on where you go, but I know with some programs too, your dog is approved for different levels, and so with some of them, you have to be in an area where there is staff available who's familiar with the program. Yeah, awesome. So how did you first find out about therapy dogs?
So I used to work with a girl, her name was Kim. She had a German Shepherd, Kovu, and she was telling me, Kovu actually is an actor, and he would be in plays, and she told me that he was a therapy dog as well. And when I got to talking to her about it, she was telling me about him going to the airport and letting people pet him before they would board flights and then in lines of security. And then she told me that he actually would sit on stand with children who were on trial or like being questioned during a court trial for abuse or any like particular traumatic event. They would sit with the dog, offer therapy during that difficult time, and that just seemed really, really cool to me. And so I started looking around. I know that there's a few other like Therapy Dogs International is another big one that I've heard of, and I felt like Benji, ever since the day I got him, granted he was a little bit nervous when he first came into the hospital, but over time when he broke out of his shell, I just realized he was so relaxed, so calm, so cool, collected. He's sleeping over there right now, but he just loves everybody. He loves attention. He can be a little needy at times. Don't tell him I said that. But he has big paws, and he'll let you know when you stop petting him. It's not okay with him. He'll definitely paw you. But everyone I worked with, all of the doctors, they also recommended me to make him a therapy dog or to train with him to be a therapy dog, just because he was one of the only dogs that wouldn't show any sort of anxiety at the vet. He let everyone pet him. He doesn't bark. He just kind of walks up to you, leans against you, and will just let you pet him for as long as you can give. So my whole thing was, I can't keep all of Benji's love for myself and be selfish. I have to share Benji's love with the rest of the world. So that's why I decided to do it.
It sounds like he might have too much love for just one person anyway.
Yeah.
I love that. So you found out about therapy dogs before you got Benji or after?
After. Just being in the vet medicine world and always having a passion for animals, I really was interested in equestrian therapy. I studied psychology, so any type of therapy related things I was always into. And then once I got Benji, it was kind of like, this could be real. This could be definitely a thing if I looked into it a little bit more. So I did, and it's been wonderful.
Jessica says Benji has the most love.
Yes.
Well, I think it's pretty clear then how you knew that he would enjoy being a therapy dog. Where do you think he enjoys volunteering the most? Do you think he has a favorite?
I think with the children, most of them are really active with him, petting him. So I think that he really likes that. There was one time we had a few cancellations, so we had a good amount of time with one particular child, and within 15 minutes they were both running around the enclosed room, but running around the room, doing his little play bow and playing with them. So just a little bit higher energy with the children versus the residents of the assisted living home. They're just both really different experiences. The assisted living home is very relaxed, very quiet, loving pets, and then with the children, they're a little bit more energetic and asking me a bunch of questions and playing with his ears and just pulling on him and stuff. So it's just very different.
Nice. Does he know when you're getting ready to go volunteer somewhere?
No, I think he just is excited to get in the car. He has this little heart that says I'm a registered therapy dog, and then his membership number on the back of it. I just clipped it collar, but he doesn't like change or anything, like his behavior or anything. He's just always Benji and just really, really nice and really happy. But he will walk by anyone and just kind of look up at them, waiting for them to pet him. The more people, the merrier to him.
I love that. What surprised you the most on your journey to therapy dog team?
I would say the transition with the children, the ones that are really timid, the transition watching them start out really timid and then be really comfortable with him afterwards really surprised me how well they adapted to the situations, how well Benji adapted to the situations. I know some dogs, when they're ready to leave, their session's over, their puppy minutes have timed out. Benji doesn't really have that. He kind of does what I ask of him all the time. If he gets up to come over to me, I'll just redirect him, just lay back down. I'm surprised at how easy it is, and I honestly am surprised at how much free range I have at the library. The assisted living homes are a little bit different just because I said I was with the activities director kind of going door to door to door. Yeah. But in this other setting, I'm sitting in a room with him and the children come to me. Really cool just to see them kind of open up and not be so timid. And then one thing I do realize, like, when was the last time you thought about how grateful you were that you could read sentences in a book so flawlessly? So when I watch these kids read and they are really nervous, but they start to get comfortable, you can tell the way that they're reading improves as well. Or some kids, they're really, really trying to sound out a word to figure out what that word is. And to me, it's so gratifying knowing that, like, I went through all of that too with learning how to read. And now I'm so grateful that I can read and all of that. But it's just one of those little things that you don't really pay attention to when we're adults. It just, you read a page, you read something, a sign, and it is what it is. But kids, it's really cool to watch them really sound out the word, their brain really trying to figure out what that page says. And I'm just trying to, like, be quiet and not help them too much, but it's really interesting. The whole thing kind of is a really great surprise in more than one ways.
Yeah, it sounds like you really enjoy volunteering with him.
Yeah, I don't know who likes it more, me or him, honestly.
What's your favorite part about volunteering with him?
I think just the different people I meet, the different kids, the stories that the kids have are really interesting. They tell me about their animals, and we talk about things with their animals and Benji and how they're similar, how they're different. And then with the assisted living home, just being there, I'm grateful I don't have any family members particularly living assisted living homes at the moment. But just being that friendly face, that unique visit that will brighten up someone's day. Maybe a family member hadn't visited in a while, or they were feeling a little bit down that day. Just having a surprise visitor, and it's a really big fluffy dog come through your door, I think is really great. And it's nice that Benji's so tall that they don't have to bend over far to pet him, or when they're sitting down, he does come right up to them, and it's really easy for them to enjoy the visit as well.
I love that. Abby the therapy dog says hello from Hobby Airport Therapy Dog.
Hi.
I don't know if you're familiar with the team or if they're just saying hello, but hello.
That's awesome.
Yeah. What advice do you have for someone who's interested in becoming a therapy dog team?
I would say find out what types of visits you want to do, whether it's with children or adults or elderly adults. Figure that out first. Look at where you can go. So some therapy dog programs only allows you to go to X places. So make sure that that correlates with where you want to go, because as soon as we pull into the parking lot and I set foot on the concrete, I am completely covered under insurance, and so is Benji. And then the minute we get back into our car as well, we're still covered under insurance. So that's really important, just because they are animals at the end of the day, and it's a different situation every time you go. Make sure you know where you want to go, who you want to visit. And then let's say you want to do visits with children. I would recommend, if you have family friends who have young children in the family, bring your dog around them just to see how they would react. You want to kind of make sure that they're going to be a good fit before you take the time, the money, the energy, the effort into training them for it. And let's say, like, they don't like kids, like, that's okay. They don't like children, but instead of putting them in that uncomfortable situation, having already spent the time, money, and effort to figure that out, you can then weed out those situations with family, friends, children, or your grandparents or something like that. So just kind of make sure you know what you want to do, where you want to do it, and go from there. And not every dog can be a therapy dog, and that's okay. You just have to figure out the strengths and weaknesses of your own.
Exactly. Yeah, there's so many fun things that you can do with your dog, whether or not they're a good fit to be a therapy dog. So yeah, I love that. Well, thank you so much. Is there anything else that you wanted to share while you're here?
Maybe just my dog.
For sure. Show him off a little. Hi, Benji.
He's like, I am kind of camera shy.
He's like, no one can pet me through the camera, so why should I care?
Yeah, he's napping. It's raining here in Charlotte, so these long rainy days have him extra tired. This is all he does. Sometimes he'll get tired. He'll get excited and want to play.
He has to save his energy for his visits.
I know. I was joking with him earlier before we got on. I was like, you're getting your beauty rest for the camera, and then the beauty rest never stops. So
It's all good. Well, it was so nice to meet you, and Benji, thank you so much for joining me.
Yeah, thank you. I had a blast. Thank you so much. Hope to do it again soon.
Awesome. Have a good day.
You too. Bye.
Bye.